Hello guys! Today we'll take a look at the recently released campaign map footage for Total War Warhammer 2. To be more precise, we will specifically analyze Ulthuan, the home continent of the High Elves. In this video, we will highlight the shown factions, landmarks and settlements. However, we won't be focusing extensively on the lore of the mentioned objects. I apologize in advance if I butcher some of these expressions, considering how I am a Total War player in the first line. Without further ado, here is the part of the campaign map trailer featuring Ulthuan.
Welcome, my lord, to the new world. Before us lies Ulthuan, home of the High Elves. At its center, at the very Isle of the Dead, the great vortex surges and swirls, forged by the High Elves in ages past to siphon the winds of magic and defeat the chaos invasion that threatened to engulf the world. As the fork-tongued comet of Sotek made its recent passage across the heavens, it breached the Great Warding, making it dangerously unstable. There are those who would unbind the vortex and exploit its wild energies. Still others seek to heal the cyclone and preserve the order. Each race must perform a series of arcane rituals, both to decide the fate of the vortex and prevent the other races from achieving victory. Let us take a closer look at the High Elves. Led by Prince Tyrion, they are a proud, arrogant, and highly developed people, combining peerless martial prowess with an uncommon grasp of the magical arts. The High Elves are in love with politics, and the most successful elven leaders use their influence to court the most powerful generals and meddle in the affairs of other, lesser races. The High Elves are also master traders and exploit their contacts to gain valuable intelligence on the affairs of their trading partners. To the north of Ulthuan lie vast, near unassailable fortress gates, guarding the outer reaches of the elven homelands. It would take a formidable force indeed to breach these ramparts. And now, the elves have enacted a ritual. This puts them one step closer to stabilizing the vortex and achieving their ultimate victory. With continents separated by mighty oceans, your forces may have to embark on perilous journeys to reach foreign soil.
Alright, let me first show you a map containing the regions and factions of Ulthuan in the lore. Furthermore, here is another map containing the topographic features of Ulthuan. It also includes way more settlements and shrines and such. Ulthuan is subdivided in 10 kingdoms. You have 5 outer kingdoms and 5 inner kingdoms. They are separated by the mountain range of the Annually Mountains. The outer kingdoms are Tiranoc, Negarith, now called Shadowlands, Kras, Gothic, and Ivres. The inner kingdoms are Etain, Zephyri, Avalorn, Illyrion, and Calador. In the middle of the circular-shaped continent, you also have the Inner Sea, which can only be accessed by the Straits of Lothar. Now, let us advance to screenshots of the campaign map footage. The first screenshot highlights Vol's Anvil. Vol's Anvil is a volcano in the province of Calador. It harbors the most renowned forge of the High Elves. Most of the high-tier magical gear of the High Elves was forged here. Next up, we have a screenshot already containing a part of the Annually Mountains. This huge mountain range extends to the whole continent and separates the inner from the outer kingdoms. Here you can see the Great Vortex on the Isle of the Dead. To keep the Great Vortex stabilized or destabilize it will be the main goal of the factions in Total War Warhammer 2. The only way to enter the Inner Sea by ship is to cross the Straits of Ulthuan. Here you can also see two kinds of High Elven vessels. The Straits of Ulthuan derive its name from the city of Ulthuan, capital of Etain. Ulthuan is also home to the court of the Phoenix King, Finubar the Seafarer. As you can see, there is also Prince Tyrion, one of the two legendary lords of the High Elves, holding a banner of Etain. To cross the already mentioned Straits of Ulthuan, you'll need to pass through 3 gates. First of all, there's the Emerald Gate, followed up by the Sapphire Gate, and at last the Ruby Gate. On this screenshot, we can see the depiction of a noble, a hero in Total Warhammer 2. There's also the Shrine of Ashurian on the Isle of the Flame. The Shrine of Ashurian is home to the Flame of the Phoenix and the Phoenix Guard. In order to become Phoenix King, a candidate has to pass through the flame unscathed. Proceeding now in direction of Sapphire, we can already see a second settlement, Everwatch. There's also the banner of Sapphire in the background. We also come across Port Alistair, a minor settlement on the shores of the Inner Sea. Here you can see another hero, a mage on top of an Ithilmer chariot. Finally, we arrive at the White Tower of Hoeth. This tower functions as the biggest library of arcane knowledge in the whole world. Right next to it, you can also see a major settlement. However, even after comparing it to the detailed map of Ulthuan given in the army books, I couldn't derive its name. Feel free to comment and give your opinion about this and the upcoming unnamed settlements. Behind the Annually Mountains, we also see the banner of an unshown faction, possibly Ivres. Here we can also see a sun dragon majestically soaring through the skies. Following the sun dragon's path, we come across another settlement. Again, we can very briefly see another structure that looks like a settlement. Comparing it with the map of the army book, this could actually be Torfinu. The camera then takes a turn and crosses the Annually Mountains. This could be the Skyhaven Plateau, as depicted in the map. Once again, we can very briefly see something that looks like a settlement on the right. In the background we can see 2 fleets of an unknown faction. These might be tribes affiliated to Chaos, considering their position. We proceed to meet another faction. Here you can see a prince carrying the banner of Grace. Furthermore, we can see 2 heroes, a mage and a noble, standing close to each other. On the left, we can see Tor Akari, the capital of Grace. Next up, we see again something that might be a settlement, possibly Torgard. For the 3rd time in this video, we meet the banner of an unknown faction. However, we can already say that they are not affiliated to the High Elves, considering the banners don't match any of the banners of the 10 kingdoms. Here you can see one of the 5 gates separating Nagarath, the Shadowlands, from the Inner Kingdoms. Furthermore, you can see the banner of Avalor, one of the Inner Kingdoms and home to the Everqueen. There's also a minor coastal settlement, Evershale. At last, you can also see the Gaian Vale. Here is another screenshot of the Phoenix Gate. In this screenshot, we see 2 of the 5 gates. Considering their positioning, the first one could be the Dragon or Unicorn Gate, while the second one seems to be the Griffin Gate. Behind the gates, we can see a minor settlement and 2 banners of Illyrion. Here is a second screenshot of the Dragon or possibly Unicorn Gate. In front of the Griffin Gate, there appears to be another settlement. We proceed by taking a look at the last of the 5 gates, the Eagle Gate. You can see a prince or noble soaring across the skies on a great eagle. Behind the Eagle Gate, we can see Tor Ilir, the capital of Illyrion. There's also a prince or a princess on an Ithilmer steed nearby. The camera takes a turn away from the Great Vortex and towards Lustria. We get a glimpse at the banner of Calador and a settlement close to Vol's Anvil. Here we can see what might possibly be a settlement in Tiranoc. Comparing with the map yields the name Tor Setai. In this screenshot we might see a settlement belonging to the province of Calador. Comparing with the map yields the name Shimmersword. In the right of the screenshot we can see what might be a settlement. Considering its position, it might belong to the province of Etain. While we only get a glimpse at the banner that might possibly be Ivres, we see this structure that might possibly be a settlement. However, comparing the positioning and minor nature of the settlement, we are absolutely certain that this can't be Tor Ivrain, the capital of Ivres. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and feel free to comment. We are also working on a project involving Lustria and its settlements, landmarks and other things. In case you want to remain up to date, feel free to subscribe. See you around next time.